Greetings, storytellers. Something I've been thinking about recently is the way that I meditate or focus on an emotion or a feeling that hasn't necessarily happened yet. Let me explain. Your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and something that it vividly imagines. A way to think about this is if you were to close your eyes right now and take a moment and picture a bright yellow lemon. And imagine yourself cutting the lemon open and holding it up and looking at the polyps of juice within it, seeing it almost dripping down your hands. And then imagine putting the lemon to your nose, close to your face, and taking a deep inhalation of that lemon. And then going a step further and biting into the sourness of that lemon. You can feel it. You can taste it. Your mouth right now is probably salivating a little. You feel the wateriness in your mouth because when you vividly imagine something, your mind creates it as a reality. So when I meditate, when others meditate that do something similar, when I focus on gratitude, I focus on the feeling of gratitude, what it feels like to appreciate something really, really well, really, really within my body. Or I focus on what makes me really happy and what's brought me a lot of joy in my life. I get this overwhelming feeling of happiness, of gratitude. The same goes for focusing on success. You focus on something as if it already happened, making it real for yourself so that your body feels it. Let me reverse. The reason you do this is because, again, your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and what it imagines. So when you imagine a positive emotion and feel it within your body, even though something hasn't happened yet, your mind starts to condition your body for the experience. A way to think of it is like an old school radio. If you remember, we used to have this dial on a radio or even on a TV, and you'd have to tune the dial to get to the proper frequency in order to hear the music clearly. And sometimes you'd have to tune it a little to the left, a little to the little right, and find that centerpiece where you really get a clear signal. That's kind of what you're doing with your body, with your mind. You're focusing on success. You're tuning your body, just like that old school dial, into the success that is there waiting for you, into the abundance that is there waiting for you, into the health and wealth that is there waiting for you. And I say that because you could think about it like a trip. So if you were to go to, I live in the States, I live in New York, but if I were to fly to Italy, it's not that Italy is going to appear once I'm there. It's already there. It's just I have to tune into it. I have to create the system to get myself there so I am there. It's the same thing with an emotion, with a feeling, with the abundance that's available to you in life. You have to do the work to create and feel the experience before you even have the experience. So that led me to thinking about a topic that a lot of people talk about, which are millennials. And a lot of people put down millennials. Often, as somebody once said to me recently, a friend of mine, nobody ever says the word millennial in a positive way. It's always a negative connotation. But in that, part of that is there's a different level of work. The blessings millennials have had is they've been raised with the ability to have more things on demand. They needed to know something, they looked it up on the net. Whereas in the past, I, for example, when I was a child, had to take a bus and get to the library and go through a card catalog to find the right book in the right place and so forth. There was work involved that doesn't necessarily need to be there now. If I wanted food, I had to think about what I wanted. I could potentially call in the order, but I had to go somewhere to get it. Whereas now you can just go onto, Grubhub or whatever and have it delivered. Same thing with Amazon and shopping. Anything you want, you could pretty much have even the same day without leaving your house. There's not much work involved. So it led me to think about the tuning prospect in terms of there needs to be effort and work to tune into and create a certain experience, emotion, feeling, success, abundance, health, wealth, etc. in your life. If you're not conditioned and you haven't learned how to work for something, it is more of a challenge. And that's a challenge that oftentimes younger people do face because they haven't created the muscle to work for something. So that being said, twofold. Number one, it's not that it can't be done. Of course it can be done. It just takes perseverance. It takes grit. It takes effort. It takes the understanding that nothing comes overnight. Well, unless you're ordering from Amazon. But aside from that, an experience, wealth, abundance, and so forth takes effort and work. And it's an everyday work and effort that must be put in order to achieve a result. So give yourself patience. Give yourself time. Understand it takes time to tune that dial to create the reality and experience you want. And it's not a when I feel like it type of thing. It's an everyday effort. And no, you're not going to feel like it. In the beginning, when you get excited about an idea, yeah, you get super excited and you feel great. And that's why you get juiced and want to work really hard. But then come the challenges. Then come the obstacles. Then comes the opposition. And that's where the day-to-day work comes in. Now that work and opposition and obstacle could be an external opponent trying to figure out how to get in touch with somebody or do something or have the right connection. But it could also be an obstacle or opposition that you have for yourself. I'm tired. I don't feel like it. I just want to relax today. I'm not in the mood. That is your opponent. You are oftentimes your opponent when you're trying to create something. So start small. Start with the experience in your mind, creating it vividly as if it is already done. Start tuning in your focus, your energy, your belief system, your mind, your body into feeling that experience as if it is right here, right now, already done. And that's an everyday process. You have to act as if. You have to speak as if. You have to live as if it is already here. Then you take it to the next step. And you create the effort. You create the work. You do what you have to do even when you don't feel like it. Something to think about, or a good analogy, is exercise or diet. Yeah, I feel like having the ice cream, whatever, or I feel like having the bread, or I don't feel like going to the gym. Those are the times that I have to put my effort forward. I don't feel like it, well, I have to go to the gym. I want to eat something and it's just going to give me a moment of taste. Well, those are the times I have to restrain myself. Or the reverse. Well, I don't like the taste of vegetables, but I know they're good for me, so I have to eat them. And I have to make sure I create that everyday moment. People say, for example, if you talk about drinking black coffee with nothing in it, at first many people like, ew. But people say who do drink black coffee or make it part of like a 16-8, intermittent fast, that in time you will like black coffee, and not only will you like it, you won't like the other. And it's true. So for example, for myself, I drink black coffee. I do an intermittent fasting. At first, I didn't like it at all. But in time, it's actually my go-to regardless of the time of day. Because adding a sweetener or even adding milk tastes a little weird to me right now because it's been conditioned. My body has been conditioned. My mind has been conditioned for something. That effort is what's going to get you where you want to go. So again, live as if, It's an everyday moment. It's what I've called in other videos, and other people I think have called micro decisions. It's the small moments that you decide to do something or create something. Go after what you want and understand it will take time. It will take work. And if you haven't been raised with the condition of that kind of perseverance, allow yourself to begin it. Allow yourself to feel it. It doesn't always feel good. It's not always pleasant. It's exhausting. A lot. But the reward is on the other side waiting for you. What you want, what you're hoping for, what you're dreaming for, it's there. You just have to take those steps. And it's one step at a time, one brick at a time, one brick every day, and soon enough, you've built a building. You've built your castle. Create the story you want through everyday perseverance. Thank you for your time and energy. I hope that this video gave you a few ideas. Start tuning into that frequency as if, because it's waiting for you. It's yours for the taking. Enjoy it, storyteller. There's more than you could possibly imagine on your side, in your court, waiting for you.